Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Two-year investigation by the House Weaponization Committee uncovers a two-tiered system of government. Apparently, they put out a 17,000-page report on this. Through its oversight and investigations, the Select Committee found numerous instances of federal government being weaponized against the American people. For example, the Select Subcommittee highlighted censorship by big tech that led Mark Zuckerberg to admitting Facebook was pressured by the Biden-Harris White House to censor Americans, empowered whistleblowers to come forward and have their voices heard despite retaliation by the Department of Justice and the FBI. They protected the First Amendment, leading to the dissolution of the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, GARM, and other organizations that work to censor American speech. They revealed the weaponization of federal law enforcement against the American people, leading to important policy changes for the Department of Justice and the IRS, and uncovered evidence that Biden's campaign coordinated with 51 former intelligence officials to interfere in the American electoral system weeks before the 2020 presidential election by signing the statement calling Hunter Biden's laptop disinformation. So, is there a labor shortage? Ultimately, the entire need for H-1B workers is predicated on a supposed domestic worker shortage. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the current native-born American labor force participation is around 63%. Meanwhile, the foreign-born labor force participation is a stunning 68%. Importantly, per the Wall Street Journal, census data show immigrants who arrived since the start of 2020 are more than twice as likely to lack a high school diploma as U.S. 4 months, he beat not one but two Democratic opponents, swept all 7 swing states, and became the first Republican to win the popular vote in 20 years. He has realigned American politics, remaking the GOP and leaving the Democrats reckoning with what went awry. I'll tell you what went awry. They suck! Okay, moving on.
Did you know that since 1977, Congress has only passed the budget on time 4 times? The last time Congress passed a balanced budget was in 2001.
That was the
Did you know
Congress?
That over the last 6 years, Congress hasn't passed an appropriations bill on time once? In fact, we have had 17 continuing resolutions in the last 6 years.
In 6 years.
And since Biden has taken office, we have had over 11 omnibuses pushed through. Congress has only passed a balanced budget 4 times ever, meaning we didn't have a surplus or a deficit.
The mainstream has become fringe, and the fringe has become mainstream. There are platforms, there are people out there that are getting 14 million streams, and we're on cable news getting 1 or 2 million. And so there's
not on CNN.
the whole world out there. Kellyanne Conway, I hate to agree with her, but I do a lot of times. Donald Trump understood that.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday Q&A, and let's, the first question today is from our friend Avocado Siamu, who says, have you ever woke up half naked except for a pair of lace panties, a Foot Locker's employee's ref jersey, and a Pirate's eye patch stuck in the slide of a children's playground? AD? I'm becoming concerned. I'm becoming concerned. I would love to hear that story, though. Just out of curiosity. I don't know if I really want to hear that story. But no, I haven't. I feel very discouraged to see many influencers turning on some of our biggest fighters in Congress. Instead of going after the 38 who stand on principle and not raise the debt ceiling, but also didn't support the continuing resolution, why are they going after the people like Republican Congressman Greg Murphy, North Carolina 3, who was for the original continuing resolution? Or why not just go after the Democrats who are responsible for this entire mess? Why eat our own strong conservatives, especially over something like the debt ceiling, when no one really wants it raised in the long run? Even if the 38 had voted yes on the American Relief Act, it still wouldn't have passed. So what is the end goal here? To get rid of strong conservatives because we don't 100% agree all the time?
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
House report recommends FBI investigation into Liz Cheney over alleged witness tampering while on the J6 committee. So there's this seems to be blowing up in Liz Cheney's face as opposed to getting shot with birdshot by her dad. Here's another one. Taxpayers fund a disinformation index, but the real fake news is that it's useful. The Department of State wasted $330,000 to fund censorship of non-liberal and conservative media. Historically, the largest purveyor of disinformation is the U.S. government, without question. And now, once again, the government has decided to position itself as the ultimate judge of what is true and what is not. Do you think there exists an animal whose shit is actually super delicious? Oh my God. It would have to be some sort of seafood. I don't know. Avocado salad, what would you consider to be the most disconcerting thing about one could see in the toilet after you got done going to the bathroom? Only things that come from inside you count. Well, I think a 14-foot tapeworm would be kind of disconcerting. You'd be like, what the heck? That was inside of me. Okay. Lord Stanham asks, which member of Congress would you like to catch leprosy? You can name as many as you'd like. Well, let me just start with Jamie Raskin. And Adam Schiff. That's enough. This is lightning round. Avocado Stiabi says, why is it that Nancy Mace is the only woman in Congress that does not sound like one of the teachers from Peanuts to me when she speaks? Maybe it's because she's from the South, although her accent is not that pronounced. Somnambule Nation, is this the penultimate? Is this the last question? No, it's not. Lord Stanhope, will you have a Merry Christmas? Melancholy. We already explained that earlier. Select a boy who on The Simpsons has a plan that's good on paper but horrible in execution. Oh, obviously Homer. How many of you remember the name Crystal Magnum? Crystal Magnum. Does that name ring a bell? Anybody? Crystal Magnum. Now, even if you don't know that name, you know. It sounds like a stripper name, doesn't it? Crystal Magnum? That sounds like a stripper name or a porn star name or something like that, right? Well, here's an update in the story of Crystal Magnum. Congress members haven't even received the text yet. The deadline is Friday. This is utter insanity. That is... I don't know if I could be any less accurate or more accurate. I don't know. Congress has last passed a real budget in 1997. Since then, Congress has typically relied on continuing resolutions or omnibus spending bills to fund the government. There should be 12 different funding bills, I guess, normally, and they're doing an omnibus bill. They just put it all on paper the last minute, and then just pass it because they want to go home for Christmas. Well, F that shit. So people are saying shut it down. They've typically relied on continuing resolutions or omnibus spending bills to fund the government rather than completing the full budget process as intended by the 1974 Congressional Budget
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know?
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Hey, hey, hey! That was kind of weird. Hey, everybody. Good damn morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel where I am not a DEI hire. And I get tired of hearing it. I'm finally getting tired of hearing it. I'm going to tell you a story, and maybe you'll understand why maybe it's not always a good idea to call everybody DEI hire. But and that's what the title of the show is, because everyone's calling this lady a DEI hire with no evidence. And God forbid she might be, but you know what? Shit's getting old, and I'll explain it. I'll explain it because while I am not a fan of the DEI stuff and the Affirmative Action, all that stuff, I'll tell you why it pisses me off that I hear it every time a black person's face is shown on a screen somewhere doing something that they might have had to, do a lot of hard work to get to. That the woke right, there's a term that I say, the first person I've heard say this term, woke right, was Hotep Jesus. You know who Hotep Jesus is. From Hotep Nation. But there's other people talking about it, Chris. What's the guy's name? Not Rufo, the other guy. There's the people starting to talk about the woke right, the people who, the reactionary kind of right, who always, have to bring up something every time they see something, and it's like, no, let's not be like the people on the left who use this constantly. Okay, let's not be the reactionaries on like what the left is, who have to bring. Well, they bring race into everything, right? The left is, but now we do it, and it's stupid. Okay, I'll talk about it later. I'm a little fired up today. Although she did break FBI regulations by wearing a nose ring, but that's a whole nother story. That has nothing to do with how she got to where she is. James Lindsay, thank you, Special Can Acid. Yeah, he talks about it too. Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll get to it. And a whole bunch of other stuff. Lots of news today, and I'm going to try to get through the trending topics quickly because I have several articles open today, and I'd like to get to them for a change. So that's what we're going to do. This is my show. This is how it's going to run. I hope you all enjoy it. If you're here, hit the like button. If you're here, share the stream if you haven't already done that. If you haven't already done that, or just at least said, let's go to the tweet, whatever it's called, the post, whatever they do on X anymore. If you haven't done that, do that. And we'll get this stuff going. But first, of course, I must say hello to the troops. So, first in the chat today is, of course, Mr. Avocados Diabli, who gets the bell. I should probably take my Christmas tree down. I should do that. I'm going to move back into the studio, I think. Anyway, also, good morning to Mike Savage, Blarg, Somnon Bold Nation is here, Gun Fox 61, the fantastic administrator of the P-Dog Night Discord server. Also, good morning to Boneheaded Dumbass. Nice to have you here. Attack Alpaca, Balin Bobby. Hello. Renee Mayette. Happy New Year to you, since I didn't see you yesterday. I didn't see a lot of you yesterday because, you have a life, and I just, I had to do something in the morning before Lady Boomer and I went to breakfast. By the way, we did have a nice breakfast. We went to our favorite watering hole, Trail Stop Tavern, and had some brunch, and because they had a brunch and the Bloody Mary bar going, so I had a few Bloody Marys and watched some football. That was fan-fucking-tastic. Good morning also. Amazing Disgrace is in the house. And Tyre Alexander the Scourge. Turn that music off. Okay. Also, Vader, back again. Nice to have you here. God morning. Yes, it is a God morning, Vader. I know you meant good, but I have typos too. Good morning also to, who else is here? The honorable mention class of the favorite Canadian awards, Mr. Special K on Acid. Good morning. Darren Roots in the house, and that looks like just about everybody so far. 16 people, 10 likes. That's a pretty good ratio, but how about making at least 16? It'll work. It'll work for you. Trust me. If you hit the like button right now. If you hit the like button right now, you will live a better life. Trust me. I believe it. What's that? I take down the Christmas tree. I take down 3 Christmas trees and 2 mantelpieces, the shop and cook. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that means, Renee. I'm not sure. But you know what? Actually, though, the reason you don't take down the tree yet, even though it's not necessarily a true Christian symbol of Christmas, but it's just a symbol of Christmas, even though it got taken from the pagans. Christmas ain't over yet. You know that, right? Christmas goes through January 6th when we have the feast of the confirmation of the delegates or electors of Donald John Trump. No, there is a reason that the song is called the 12 Days of Christmas, because the 12th day of Christmas isn't that when the Magi show up? Because they don't show up the day Jesus is born. They show up on the 12th day when the 3 kings, we 3 kings of Orient are. Those guys, they showed up on the 12th day. So you have this Christmas story, and then, the angels came and all that stuff, but it took them some time to get there. The angels told them, but they were 12 days away. So they had to rustle up some camels and all that shit and get over to Bethlehem. So that's why it's not, Christmas ain't over yet. Just explaining why I was there. Oh, I see. I got you. I got you there, Renee. I get it. Do as you're told, plebes. Okay, anyway. So let's get into some stuff, because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I really need to do it. But before I do that, I almost forgot. I got to do the notifications. Thank you everyone who are sharing the show or dropping a let's go. I see the let's go thing is catching on. That's what I want to catch on. Let's do that. So of course, Somnambule Nation has already tweeted out the show, beat me to it as usual, because it takes me a couple minutes and you're just joining the spot, click a button, share, and it's there, and I appreciate that so much. Also, there's someone named Kelsey here. Now, Kelsey is not a real person. Kelsey is a one of these accounts that show up in your accounts that will put a picture of an attractive young woman, but they'll have 0 posts, they'll have 0 followers, and then they have a link to something called maxerotica.com, which I am not interested in at all. I don't, but there's Kelsey who liked the tweet of the show. So if you wanted to see Kelsey, that's more for Avocado Diablo. He's into that shit. Thank you, Amazing Disgrace, retweeting the show. Also, we got Somnambule Nation with a let's go. Let's get to learning right on. And here's Amazing Disgrace. Got the Model A. Is it a Model A? What is that? That's not a Model T. Anyway, on switches and hydraulics, that's something else. That would be Snoop Brethren K9 in the whatever the hell that car is. We got a let's go from Reaction Puerto Rico, who I'm assuming is here. Good morning, sir, if you're listening already. And then thank you for the people who retweeted the show. Oh, wait a minute. Lib Salty Tears. All right, there we go. Got a let's go there. And here's another one from Amazing Disgrace. Now, is that real? Like, do you have a horse on a jump rope? That's crazy. That is nuts. I'm telling you. And then thank you for the people who retweeted or reposted the show. Amazing Disgrace, Reaction Puerto Rico, Tyler F., and Somnambule Nation. So if you haven't done that, that's an Oldsmobile? The car and the switches is an Oldsmobile? Yeah, it probably is. And if it's not an Oldsmobile, it's an old mobile. Because in car. Yeah, that was terrible. That was a dumb joke. God, shut up, Marty. You're so weird. All right. Anyway, let us go. Thank you, Mike Savage Blarg, for doing that. All right. So thanks, everyone who's sharing the show. Please share the show on a daily. And eventually we'll get 70 people here instead of 40 or 30, 33 or whatever it is we get on most days. Someday. Renee Mayette, Salty Tears is my ex alt account. Oh, okay. Well, cool. Thank you, Renee Mayette, for doing that. I appreciate you. Let's get into some stuff though, because things trending still. Happy 2025, Happy New Year, Happy belated New Year. All the New Year stuff is trending. Now, here's someone named Red Pilled Nurse threw this one up here, this is pretty cool, with Donald and Elon. And I don't know who this dude is, Multiveers. I don't know what that means. But someone says, who wants to join my first follow train of 2025? All you have to do is follow, like, reply, and repost. Red Pilled Nurse, who has 16,000 followers. I'm not really sure who this is, but she says she's a nurse, mother of 3, nurse, unvaxxed, love music, concerts, conspiracy theories, sun, swimming, beaches, in search of truth. Trump won in 2020. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a spicy there little, whatchamacallit, spicy, what am I trying to say? Spicy profile? Yeah, because the Trump won in 2020. You used to be able to be banned for that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's see. What is this? This man has a message for Justin Trudeau, Klaus Schwab, and all the global elites, warning lots of F-bombs. Should we watch this? I wasn't planning this at all, but this sounds good. If there's lots of F-bombs, am I past the stage where I can have F-bombs? I think, yeah. Okay, let's try it. Meatball, what does that mean? Dad privilege joke. Okay, anyway, here's a guy, apparently a lot of F-bombs. He has a message for Justin Trudeau, Klaus Schwab, and all the globalist elites, and this is under the moniker Happy 2025. Let's see what this guy has to say. I always love it when people, drag Justin Trudeau. So let's listen to it. He's bailing some hay, throwing some hay bales up. Let's hear it. Come on, give me some.
Good morning, Justin.
Good. Oh, I
sure hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're hiding your cowardly ass.
Oh shit.
I wanted to take a minute to discuss your good friend Klaus Schwab, the WEF.
Yeah.
Your intentions for this great reset and how you're continually pushing things through. You don't give a shit about us folks, Justin.
Okay, let me just stop for a second. He just said, you don't really give a shit about us, Justin. Survey says... Yeah, way to go. Yes, you got it right. Justin doesn't give a shit about you. Okay, enough of that shit. I'm gonna let you finish.
You've got your own agenda. You're running around at Klaus's feet like a little fucking dog waiting for an attaboy cookie.
Oh, shit.
Screwing Canada and everybody that fucking lives here while you're doing it.
Isn't Justin about to quit, though? He needs to quit.
So guess what, boys? I see a great reset coming. I see millions of people across this world getting really pissed off with the likes of you fuckers. And we're going to stand up and tell you all to go fuck yourself.
Oh.
People, we have the power. These boys can mandate all they want, tell us to do whatever they want.
Oh, it is Thursday, FTG Trudeau.
We can tell them to fuck right off, too. And it's about time that we all started doing that. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. I don't want to push on anybody's fence. I don't want to bother anybody. I want to live out my life looking after all these crippled horses. But I'm sick and fucking tired of standing back watching this shit happen.
Yeah.
So let's get together, people. Let's all stand up.
Let's
I don't
do
give
it.
a shit who you support or what ethnic group you're from.
Let's do it.
Let's stand up together as people of this
Northern,
world.
Yeah.
And say we've had enough of being told what to do by the few. I love each and every one of you, and I hope that your life is full of adventure, love, and happiness. But we got to set things aside for a few minutes and straighten these fuckers out. Then we can get on with our lives. God bless each and every one of you.
All righty then. All right. Yeah. Let's give him one of these. And Justin Trudeau can suck it. Anyway. All right. So there you go. That was a message for Justin. What is this? A lot of these. Okay. Oh, by the way, I saw a question in the chat said, at what point in the month do you stop saying Happy New Year? I usually stop within the first 3 days. Like, it's a new year, but you should have been able. If you haven't hit everybody within the first 3 days, then you probably just haven't seen them, and you can just wait till they say Happy New Year to you. For some reason, though, this Happy 2025 thread is a lot about Justin Trudeau too. What is this? This is something on Rogan. I don't know. Anyway, okay, we're done. You can look through this thread yourself. What the hell happened there? Oh, I forgot to mute him. I just wanted to scroll through that a little bit before I scrolled on live stream. So this one's something about Trudeau too. 2025 is the year Trudeau will finally spare us his presence. Happy New Year, everyone. Well, this is a short one. Let's watch this one too.
Shame on you and your globalist counterparts. You're scumbag. You're scumbag. You're an absolute scumbag.
So Trudeau, you are a disgrace for any democracy.
I didn't know this was going to be.
Spare us your presence.
Well, he's two-faced.
Well, they're both Marxists.
Hey there, how you doing?
Shaking your hand, boy. You're a piece of shit.
Why is that, sir?
While you've been here soaking up the race.
Making fun of Muslims all year.
You're a fake.
Oof.
Yeah, he's gross. He's a sketchy guy.
This is
And to all the people in that party,
it's a, what do you call this? A compilation of fuck Trudeau stuff. Hello, Andrew Thorsten. How you doing?
you are going to become third-party status in this election if this stuff keeps going on.
Has Justin Trudeau just crossed the line from normal liberal corruption to cartoon supervillainy?
Look at Justin Trudeau. He's absurd.
Catastrophically, moronically stupid.
I'm enjoying this. I don't even live in Canada.
Stupidity because of stupid leaders.
Oh, Justin, just stop, man, person, whatever you want to call yourself. If you want to be the most ultra woke leader in the world, that's fine.
Okay, there you go. So he's probably going to get a pardon from the what? The House? What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. Anyway, all right, enough about Happy New Year. I got to get through these a little faster. New Orleans is still trending, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But well, here, let's just, I'll show you what's up here so far. Again, by the way, this post is the top right now. FBI literally photographed the ISIS flag from the truck of the New Orleans terrorist and still tried to tell us this wasn't a terrorist attack. Now, I'm going to push back a little bit on that. I think I'm beginning to think that this woman misspoke or just was doing whatever she was trained or told to say. And because it was a very short time later where they were saying it was a terrorist attack. The FBI themselves were saying it was a terrorist attack. So I'm not sure, was this part of someone higher up that said to say this is not a terrorist attack? I don't think these were her words that she came out when she came out in that press conference. That's what that's my gut feeling here. And also, now again, the people of New Orleans need to understand one basic fact: any city government that hired this woman to be your chief of police, they hate you. you and the police themselves, they want you victimized and the police diminished and demoralized. I have no idea where this woman's credentials come from either. But here's the part that's been annoying me over the last, since this thing happened, which is about, let's say 36 hours ago, roughly. Okay, roughly. Soon as people saw this woman, the whole DEI attack started coming out. Okay. And granted, the old lady who's the New Orleans police chief, whatever, New Orleans superintendent, Robbie Starbuck put this here. New Orleans superintendent of police, Ann Kirkpatrick, is also an instructor for the FBI's leadership training program, where she instructs bias and diversity. She's the chief of New Orleans Police Department and a DEI trainer. DEI is a danger to the security of our country. Now, and then he brings up how 6 months ago the New Orleans FBI office was doing DEI hiring events. Maybe they should have been more focused on hiring the best people who are good at catching terrorists instead. Hiring solely to increase diversity is a threat to national security for everyone. DEI must end. Look, I personally believe that he is correct in the assessment that hiring strictly on the basis of diversity is probably not the best way to do hiring. Okay. However, here's my problem. And it's something that pissed me off when I was in college, so I'm going to explain it right now. Hello, James Colley. What's up? When I was in college, okay, I went to Drake University. And when I was choosing colleges, I was kind of choosing between schools. I was choosing between Oberlin College because I was going to be a music major, and Oberlin's a great music program. Choosing me that and Drake. I applied to a whole lot of other schools and then I got accepted both schools and early, right? And my choice was more. I ended up going to Drake because it was closer to home. I didn't want to be that far from home. I wanted to be able to get home and drive home in a couple hours if I wanted to go home for something. A lot of my friends were still going to the University of Nebraska. A couple went to Creighton, and a lot of them were in the Midwest, although a lot of my friends went to Ivy League schools too. But when I went to Drake University, affirmative action was all the rage in the late 70s and early 80s. And so it was the DEI of the 80s, right? Basically, DEI is just warmed over affirmative action. And so when I went to Drake University, and I had I think I scored like either 28 on my ACTs, which is a pretty good score for an ACT, right? The average score, ACT score at Drake was like 23. But and it was good enough to get accepted to Oberlin, good enough to get accepted to Drake. All right. But because DEI was all the rage, and I was a man of color, although we didn't call people men of color that time, we were just black people still in the 80s. A lot of times you get that had that kind of affirmative action thing thrown at you because there's a lot of black kids at Drake, but the people saying, oh, you might have got in here because you're black, right? But my test scores were higher than most of the people who went to that school. I went there because of the proximity to my own home, and it had a decent music program. I eventually left music, by the way, and got my degree in speech communication. But anyway, and that always pissed me off. Because anyone who even hinted at the fact that, I just got into Drake because I was black, I wanted to put my size 14 up in the sides or hind parts going, no, I'm smarter than you, dumbass. Don't even try me. And in fact, my first semester at Drake, I had a 4.0 grade point average. Or no, I had 3.9 grade point average. I had a 3.9 grade point average my first year at Drake. And so people calling me an affirmative action person when I clearly was smarter than most of the people at that school, it just always pissed me off. And it also pissed me off because people would just assume that I was an affirmative action guy. They needed more black kids at Drake or something. So I'm a little bit sensitive when every time you see a black person in public life on X or like there was a picture of the pilots, remember we showed that picture of the pilots one time and someone was talking about them. Oh, this is what happens when you get DEI. It just annoys the shit out of me because you have no idea what that person went through to get that job. And especially, like with pilots. Yeah, sure. I don't like the idea that they're trying to recruit pilots based solely on immutable characteristics. But I guarantee you they're not letting any pilots finish the program, especially pilots, without passing what you need to do to be a pilot. Okay? That would be very counterproductive because you don't want planes falling out of the sky and landing on runways and blowing up, skidding across the runway with no landing gear down and shit. So it's just one of those things that annoys the shit out of me. And also just the fact that there's a certain segment of the right now that every time there's a similar situation, they're start talking about DEI hires. Now, again, not a fan of the idea of just DEI for its own sake. Like I said the other day, DEI as a way to recruit people to work for your company or come to your school or whatever, I believe that is way too late to start worrying about how you're going to get more people of color or whatever, minorities or women, because women already outnumber men in schools anyway. It's too late if you're starting at the hiring process or the admissions process at school. If you want to increase diversity in your schools, because right now, especially for the people of melanated variety like myself, the percentage of people graduating from high schools or leaving high schools with any skills to be a college student is so much smaller. If you truly want to increase diversity, then you need to improve the schools where the least likely to succeed are. You can't start at the hiring process because all you're doing with DEI is you're making the middle-class black kids and white women, you're just giving them a hand up where they don't need a hand up because they probably already did the work. But boy, oh boy, they're in high demand because you need some black people. And so you got to fix the education system. And right now we got this Department of Education that's so focused on things that have nothing to do with getting educated that maybe it should go away. Maybe the state should just take over their own, screw the mandates from the Department of Education. And let's just focus on educating kids and not teaching them and getting rid of the, like University of Iowa did something smart, I thought, when they got rid of the gender, whatever fucking studies department. They're getting rid of it because that shit don't do anything for you other than teach you how to confuse little kids. So I don't know. It's so annoying. Hi, Ebony Williams. How you doing? And also, good morning, Don't Hat Me, bro. Good morning. I said Andrew Thorston. Laura Stanhope's here. So anyway, so this kind of shit from Robbie Starbuck, a long diatribe on DEI, you'd have no idea what this woman who is leading she's the spokesperson for the investigation. You have no idea what her credentials are. You just automatically assume that it was because, DEI, because granted, the DEI FBI office was holding diversity agent recruiting events. But you know what? Maybe, just maybe, they're saying, hey, if you're a black person who graduated from college, you want it, and you're thinking about it, just getting some people to think about that career, because how many black people want to be in law enforcement anyway? So is it a bad thing to recruit? Now, again, but it pisses me off that every fucking time, if there's a black face, someone's yelling, DEI, DEI, DEI. Don't assume, because someone has dark skin, that they didn't earn their way there. Because it comes off looking bad on you. It makes you look like an asshole. Robbie Starbuck or anyone. And I had this whole section here. Where is it? This FBI, where's the one I had out here? I had FBI DEI. I must have closed that tab. I mean, okay, let's do this. I'm going to open another tab here. And I'm going to show you how many people started screaming DEI instead of really worrying about a terrorist attack. Okay? Okay, so let's put in the search here. FBI DEI. And here's what we come up with. Robbie Starbuck, first one. We already talked about Robbie Starbuck. Amused. DEI. Evidence the FBI is chronically lowering its standards are evident everywhere. Take Assistant Special Agent in charge, Althea Duncan, who initially stated the terrorist attack was not being considered a terrorist attack. She is wearing a prohibited nose ring. FBI agents should be rule followers, especially those in leadership roles. Althea's decision to flaunt FBI rules in our faces on a national television is just another example of the decline of the agency. Is it? Now, granted, if she has a nose ring and she's not supposed to, well, hopefully one of her supervisors are going to notice that and say, hey, get rid of the nose ring. Fine. But again, that doesn't mean that she was a DEI. She may have been, guess what? She may have been in that position for 12 years for all you know. She may be a 20-year agent for all you know. Remember, black don't crack. You can't tell how old she is by how she looks, because a lot of us black folks don't look as old as some of y'all do. God dang it, I said that out loud. So anyway, again, but everyone, I can't believe this is real. And this is something the black people do. It's David Harris doing this shit. I can't believe this is real. One of the lead FBI investigators of the New Orleans attack said this is not a terrorist attack. Yeah, now, granted, I have no problem with people upset that they said it was not a terrorist attack when they had an ISIS flag, you know. But again, she's not saying this because she's not saying, someone higher up told her to say that. Probably someone in the Biden administration told her to say this because they don't want to see backlash against Muslims. You remember the joke that Norm Macdonald made? He said that let me see if we can find the Norm Macdonald joke, because it is a classic. Here, hang on a second. Norm Macdonald. Hopefully this will come up if I put these three words. Norm Macdonald. Something to the effect that, it's not in here. I think the joke was that, there was a, like someone set off a nuclear bomb in a major city, and, but they didn't want to, they didn't want to say who did it if they were Muslim, because they don't want backlash against the Muslims. It killed 52 million people, but they don't want backlash against the Muslims. You know what I mean? Someone in the FBI told her or instructed her that was her job to say some shit like that, but then the pictures started coming out, and obviously the ISIS flag on the back of the pickup truck, that dog wasn't about to hunt. So she said what she said, and then the FBI immediately, within 20 minutes or within 15 minutes, changed the official word that yes, this was probably a terrorist incident. So anyway, all right, real quick, let me go to this super chat. Thank you, Ty Alexander, for sponsoring the show. I'm going to take this, unpin this message. Anyone seen Johnny Boomer Tech in here lately? What the hell? There we go. Super chat link. There you go. Johnny's doing the work. I'm going to pin that to the top. Ty Alexander dropping 230, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Ty Alexander says the problem with DEI is it has infected everything. DEI has destroyed this concept of merit-based promotion. So now we see a black female SAIC. Yes, it is an assumption, but it is a valid assumption based on past experience. Kamala is highest DEI hire. Well, Joe Biden said, yeah, he's going to, Joe Biden said it out loud that he wants, a black woman for his vice president. And he said out loud that he's only going to consider black women for the Supreme Court when Ketanji Brown Jackson was put in. Yeah, I guess, yes, DEI hires. Is Ketanji Brown Jackson a great Supreme Court justice? Well, that remains to be seen. But then again, and there you go. So now, because Joe Biden did that, now every black judge who's come up through the ranks, I'm sure there's hundreds and thousands of black judges who've been coming up the ranks throughout the country, because of Joe Biden. Now, every single black judge is going to look, oh, well, was this just a DEI hire, or was this an actual judge who's, did the work? It diminishes the work of us who do our own thing. And it pisses me off. That's the other side of the DEI thing. So anyway, good morning, Roasted Opinions. Good morning. Oh, how you doing? Roasted Opinions is in the house. Nice to have you here. She's not acting like a seasoned agent. She seems like someone who's checked all the administrative boxes to get promoted. Those people, white, black, candy stripe, are worthless. I don't necessarily disagree with that reaction. because her speech and authoritativeness didn't seem quite there. But I still get tired of the automatic go-to is, oh, DEI. Richard Head, how you doing, Dick? Nice to see you. DEI is in full swing, like Stop Asian Hate in fat area, and the news never shows the perpetrator and says it is white hate. Yeah. Oh, no. Again, the Coulter rule was absolutely in effect. If they didn't name, if you don't hear know everything about if you don't know everything about the person who did the attack in the first hour, then you know that it probably wasn't a white dude, especially not a white, like MAGA person. So anyway, Mr. Scott, welcome back. Nice to have you. This wouldn't be saying she's a DEI if she just didn't say it wasn't a terrorist. She could have just avoided and said, we don't know yet. Yeah, she should have said, we don't know yet. I couldn't believe she said that. That was dumb as hell. So anyway, and again, here's breaking 911, the same thing. First thing out of their mouth, is she another DEI here? This FBI special agent needs to be fired the day Trump gets into office for calling the New Year's Eve terror attack an event. Again, her words were stupid as far as I'm concerned, but if the immediate DEI thing is crazy. It's just like, okay, I put these two posts next to each other for a reason. So if the first words out of your mouth is she another DEI hire, okay, injecting race into it, but then this guy right here, who saw this press conference and saw John Kennedy, the senator from Louisiana, looking over here, he says, I can see the racism from Senator John Kennedy in this picture. I see those both as egregious as, just injecting race where it wasn't necessary. I see those both just as egregious. No, you can't see racism from Senator John Kennedy. If you look at this picture, look at how every person in this picture is looking at this woman. Is it any different? Does anyone have a different expression than John Kennedy? This guy, same expression. This guy, same expression. The black guy right here, same expression. This guy with the same expression. This guy, this brother here with the same expression. This guy here with the same expression. This guy. Everyone has the same fucking expression. He's just listening to her. You don't see racism by how John Kennedy is looking at this FBI agent. It's just nonsense. Anyway, Q Continuum. What's up? Good morning, P-Dog Night. At one time, there was a common thought with the Irish and the Italian being in specific jobs because of being Irish and Italian. Yeah, my Irish half agrees with that too. So there you go. So anyway, that's what my annoyance with this whole, one of the many annoyances I have with the whole DEI thing. I think it's, first of all, it's the whole idea of it in general. Again, they're starting way too late. But everything bad or everything, anytime you see someone in a position and you start yelling DEI, I get concerned. Anyway, the whole New Orleans thing is still the hottest topic today. NOLA is trending. Guy drives a Ford Lightning truck through a crowd in NOLA, and the media reports it as a truck attack. Guy detonates a bomb in a Cybertruck in Las Vegas, and the media reports it as a Tesla Cybertruck explosion, which I think someone. By the way, there was a Tesla in one of the Trump is in front of Trump Tower. I can't remember in Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. There you go. This is why when tragedy strikes, people want to point fingers at each other. Kind of. I'm saying that's the truth. The FBI is also trending because people are still talking about the FBI and why they would even have say anything about it not being a terrorist attack. How about just we're investigating still? That was dumb. Probably, and I guarantee you, someone higher up told her to say that. Now, also, there's some people are Apparently, John Kennedy wanted to talk. I'm not real thrilled with how he pushed the agent out of the way here. But this was something that people are noticing.
Can I say something right quick? Tell me who you're with. WDSU. Okay,
I
CBS.
kind of wanted to hear what he said here too. They cut this off. Maybe I can
That's
find
an
it.
unusual position.
I don't get it.
Okay, let me see if we can find what John Kennedy said in this part of the interview, because I have no idea. Because he, as people were talking, let's see if we can John Kennedy. John. New Orleans. I want to see what he said. All right, here we go. This is part of it right here. Let me get to full screen here. All right, let's see here. Listen to John Kennedy and hear what he's saying. Everyone likes to joke about him being Foghorn Leghorn.
The federal government is now in charge of this investigation. By that, I mean the White House, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of Justice. I have not talked to the FBI. Maybe they've talked to my staff. I don't know. I did talk to the Secretary of Homeland Security a little while ago. And I told him that with all the respect I could muster, that we...
He's not a fan of Alejandro Mayorkas, just FYI.
...expect to put the full force and resources of the federal government behind this investigation.
I'm sure they've already thought of that.
Our local police departments, our sheriffs, we've got many sheriffs here today, have been terrific so far. Federal government is cooperating with them. I hope that will continue. Here's what I want to ask from the federal government. Catch these people. Catch these people. And then tell the American people the truth. Now, I don't want you to tell us yet anything that's going to interfere with your investigation. And there are things that I've been told that I think are true that I'm not sharing with you today because it could interfere with their investigation. But after we get to the bottom of this, they need to tell the American people the truth. And the people in New Orleans the truth. And the people of America the truth. I think the mayor and the governor are very wise to postpone this ball game for 24 hours. There's just too much stuff we don't know. And it's just not worth it.
Okay, so obviously he's not going to say a whole lot. So I didn't see this, and I was curious why he kind of nudged her out of the way. But he is the senator from New Orleans, and the governor was there, so or from Louisiana, and so whatever. Thank you, Damian White Boy Winner Gershwin. That's a new viewer. No, it's just Damian Gershwin, who says, Marty, there's a rumor going around you're black. Just FYI. Oh, yeah, well, sometimes rumors turn out to be true. Yeah. And I'm very sexy, too. Oh, yeah. Anyway. All right. So let's skip through the trending stuff real quick and get through this because I need to get to the other stuff. So New Orleans is trending obviously because of the attack. I'm just going to go through these. All these tabs will be open, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each because they're all about the same shit. FBI is trending, same reason. ISIS is trending, same reason because they had the ISIS flag. Here's the FBI taking pictures of the ISIS flag, but that may or may not have been before or after this conference, because if you look at this picture, sure, this flag's on the back here, but you know what? She's just giving a briefing saying, hey, we're going to be investigating it. Where the FBI is taking over, the federal government's taking over. Who knows why she would have said that? So anyway, that's why ISIS is trending. Terrorist is trending. Now, the other problem, too, is this guy, Texas is trending, and Fort Bragg is trending. Now, the reason Texas is trending, someone says, reminder that the FBI told a terrorist, tear up Texas, reminding that 50 people were almost killed in Garland, Texas, in the Dra Muhammad shooting. Remember that we know this wasn't the agent that got pulled over by fast responding police. Reminder that the FBI got away with it all. So this is back in 2017. What did the FBI really know before the terrorist attack in Garland, Texas? The key line there is FBI undercover agent told Islamic State shooter before the Garland attack to tear up Texas. The undercover agent claimed to be the Islamic State's eyes when they attacked Muhammad mocking cartoon contest and had even goaded one of the shooters, according to federal records. So that's why Texas is trending. But also interesting is, Fort Hood. Where's the Fort Hood one? It's in the articles. Never mind. Also, Trump Tower is trending. Some dude apparently bought a Tesla, drove up to Trump Tower, blew himself up in the car. Someone's saying it's peak Trump derangement syndrome, right? Well, there's a whole bunch of weird stuff going on. For example, the Trump Tower Cybertruck bomber suspect, Matthew Livelsberger, something like that, served at the same military base as the New Orleans attacker. They both came from Fort Bragg, maybe, according to the Daily Mail. But the other ones, and no one's saying that the Cybertruck thing in front of Trump Tower, and it's not Trump Tower. I thought it was in front of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. If you don't think blowing up a Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower is a terrorist attack, you're special. 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger is the Colorado man that exploded the Tesla while parked outside Trump Tower in Vegas. It's Trump Hotel. He was a 19-year Army veteran still on active duty. He was SF intelligence sergeant. His partner was very anti-Trump per her Facebook post. She also posted about Livelsberger going out to rock music concerts, holidaying in Puerto Rico, and spending time with dogs. And so they're looking for answers about this dude. But the idea that apparently the suspects in yesterday's attacks on Bourbon Street in New Orleans and Trump Tower in Las Vegas both served at Fort Bragg, the same military base as Ryan Ruth that Ryan Roth visited over 100 times before attempting to take Donald Trump's life. That was the guy who was hiding at Mar-a-Lago. So all of these have a Fort Bragg connection. Is that a coincidence? Is that a conspiracy? Is that a conspiracy theory? I don't know. But it's quite the coincidence. They all have a tie to Fort Bragg. Update: the Tesla Cybertruck explosion outside Trump Tower in Las Vegas on New Year's Day is now being investigated as a possible act of terrorism. Thanks, Joe Biden. No one is safe. Okay, no one's safe under Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Well, we got 19 more days, whatever. So anyway, that's about that. All right, let's. I'm going to skip that for a second because I want to go into some of the articles that we're going to get into. Again, here in Breitbart talking about this. FBI New Orleans ramming suspect identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar. The suspect accused of applying a truck through a crowd in Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing 15. They've identified him as Shamsuddin Jabbar. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI also confirmed that Jabbar, whose identity was first reported by NewOrleans.com, is a 42-year-old male, and that he was carrying an Islamic State in Iraq and Syria flag, ISIS, flag on the vehicle. FBI said in a statement, these subjects has been identified, same name, a U.S. citizen from Texas. He was driving a Ford pickup truck, which appears to have been rented, and we are working to confirm how the subject came in possession of the vehicle. Okay, rented, now that makes me wonder, because they said that this same truck had come through the Eagle Pass, border crossing a few days ago, but I think that may be irrelevant if it was a rented vehicle. An ISIS flag was located in the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential association and affiliations with terrorist organizations. Weapons and potential IED were also located in the subject's vehicle. Other potential IEDs were located in the French Quarter. The FBI Special Agent bomb technicians are working with our law enforcement partners to determine if any of these devices were viable, and they are working to render those devices safe. Now, the agent said it was investigating the attack as an act of terrorism and are aggressively running down all leads to identify any possible associates of the subject. The FBI Assistant Special Agent in charge, Althea Duncan, initially told the public the attack was not a terrorist event. Police shot and killed him, the man, after the attack, and it was around 3:15 a.m. So this is all information we already know. Similar article in PJ Media here. that they identified the attacker. I don't know, though. Let's see. After initially denying the attack in New Orleans in the early mornings of New Year's Day was a terror attack, and then belatedly admitting the obvious fact, the FBI is now confronted with the onerous task of investigating what was actually an Islamic Jihad attack. Now, I'm going to correct that. Islamic Jihad and ISIS aren't necessarily the same group, but certainly from the same ideology. NBC News reported early Wednesday afternoon that 4 senior law enforcement officials briefed on the matter say they have preliminary identified the subject. We already know his name. Din-Jabbar is accused of intentionally plowing a pickup truck into New Year's revelers around 3:15 a.m. on Bourbon Street. Authorities said the suspect is dead. The FBI said in his vehicular jihad attack, Din-Jabbar murdered at least 10 people and injured dozens of others. The mysterious flag on the back of the truck Din-Jabbar was driving seems to have been a flag of the Islamic State. If that is definitively confirmed, which it has been, it would not be surprising at all, for ISIS has called for vehicular jihad attacks as far back as 2014. In a long communique encouraging individual Muslims to carry out jihad attacks in Western country, it quoted the Quran, "Oh, you who believe, take your precautions, then advance the proven ones or advance altogether." Okay, whatever. It's a lot of the same information as the Breitbart article. Next, Daily Wire, truck used in New Orleans terror attack came through the southern border in November. Again, now that we know that this is a rented truck, it very well could have had multiple people using it over the last month. But a truck that was used to commit a terrorist attack in New Orleans, French Quarter, early on Wednesday morning, reportedly came through the U.S. southern border in November. And that's why people were speculating, because they found that out pretty quickly somehow. That's what had a lot of people speculating that this could have been a foreign invader via the southern border, but it is not a foreign invader, but it is an American who has actually served in the U.S. military. I'm just curious how that comes around. It also, it also makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. So the barricades that are normally stopping people from driving vehicles on that part of the French Quarter, those weren't there. The perpetrator ends up being an American, just conveniently carrying a giant ISIS flag in the back of the truck. That's interesting. And it always, anytime something like this happens, and there's just, it's just interesting that all of a sudden it's some guy who was a U.S. military person, right? You always just got to wonder, wait, this is so convenient. This is so convenient. Just like the Pennsylvania guy who tried to assassinate Trump. Are we just trying to create chaos? Are we? I mean, it's just, I'm not saying it is, but yes, tire is smelling it up. Does it kind of glow? And because, I'm beginning to think that people just don't give a crap about human life if they have an agenda. And I don't know what the agenda would be here. I don't know. Hello, Mrs. Hayes, by the way. Was it made in Mexico? I don't know. No, I don't think so. It's just like, are we, what? Why? It's just so convenient because it's an American who did it. But again, this is the third person with association with Fort Bragg of some sort. What are they teaching at Fort Bragg that's causing this shit? Anyway, the suspect plowed into people while driving a white pickup that had Texas license plates. The suspect then got out and allegedly started shooting at police before he was immediately killed by law enforcement. At least 10 people were killed in the attack and 35 more people were injured. And then we got the stuff from the mayor and the FBI. Okay, so now let's go to the Cybertruck, though. Here's some new twist in the Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas, and Elon Musk himself gives updates. Video of a Tesla Cybertruck exploding outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas in an apparent explosion Wait a minute. Did you hear that sentence? I read it as written. Listen to this sentence again. Videos of a Tesla Cybertruck exploding outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas in an apparent explosion. Wait, it exploded, but it was an apparent explosion? Anyway, made headlines across social media on this New Year's Day. The cause of the explosion was not immediately clear, but speculation ran rampant, fueled by heightened concerns following a terrorist attack in New Orleans earlier in the day. Though some speculated that it was merely a freak explosion, videos shared to social media show fireworks-style mortars exploding in and around the vehicle following some sort of detonation, according to reports. Investigators are treating the incident as a possible terrorist attack. Now, many figured as much, noting the connection between Tesla, which is owned by Elon Musk, and the Trump Hotel owned by Donald Trump. According to officials, the Cybertruck pulled into the valet area of the hotel before it exploded. The driver was killed in the blast. Thankfully, no other fatalities have been reported, although several bystanders sustained minor injuries. Another question is whether the Las Vegas incident and the New Orleans incident are connected. According to the Associated Press, the Cybertruck involved in the Las Vegas incident was rented through Turo, the same car-sharing platform used to obtain the vehicle in the New Orleans attack. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. While there's currently no evidence linking the two incidents, authorities are not ruling out terrorism, and they have deemed the Las Vegas explosion an intentional act. Now, that is weird. So let's see. Both of the people involved had a connection to Fort Bragg. Both the people involved rented their vehicle through the vehicle sharing app Turo. What the fuck's going on? Hello, Lucas Gabrielle, by the way. Welcome to the show. Says, I'm only glad Trump is president, so I, as a white Italian, I can have my almost $1,000 a month in Social Security. Well, there you go. I don't even know what that means. Are you getting special bonuses from Donald Trump or not? I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I don't think my Social Security is going to be that high either. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, but I have a ways. I have at least 10 years before I start collecting it. So anyway, three senior U.S. law enforcement officials have confirmed that the blast was deliberate. Here's the, let's see what this, they put a clip here from MSNBC. Shall we watch it, class? Oh, of course we shall. Let's watch this. Let's see what this is.
Let's talk about Las Vegas, because this has been a sort of interesting development. You know, the images of the Cybertruck parked outside the Las Vegas Trump property went viral. You know, sort of, I think people thought it was an accident. And
I'm not really fond of Rachel's tie here. I'm not feeling it. I don't know. Anyway.
No one was hurt, and so there was a sort of bizarre symbolism in that it was a Cybertruck, it was not Trump. As it's developed, it seems that this is being taken far more seriously. What have we learned about what authorities know and how they're investigating this?
Right, Chris. So according to the reporting of myself, my colleagues Andrew Blankstein and Kelly O'Donnell, right now, 3 senior U.S. law enforcement officials say that this explosion of a Tesla Cybertruck, kind of in the portico there where you saw that smoke rising from in front of Trump's property in Las Vegas, is being investigated, at least initially, as a potential act of terrorism, and that it was, quote, intentional. And there was a...
Okay, there you go. Okay, so that's basically what the article says. Let's see here. Now, Elon Musk responded to the incident on Wednesday afternoon on X, quote, the whole Tesla senior team is investigating this matter right now. We'll post more information as soon as we learn anything. We've never seen anything like this. Now, I'm curious. Does Tesla, because they have all the electronics and whatever, and they can shut down your car if they want to. Do you know that? Tesla, if you drive a Tesla, they can shut down your car. I wonder if they have, like, if they can pull footage from that vehicle at all. I don't know. Oh, no, I don't work all year. I'm on Social Security handouts. Being young in my 30s, it's easy mode. Oh, well, are you on disability or something? I'm just curious. I guess it's not in my business. I'm just curious what that means. So anyway, Cybertruck detonated outside Trump Tower was packed with fireworks-style mortars. Investigators confirmed the Cybertruck that exploded outside Trump hotel in Las Vegas was filled with fireworks. Okay, they said it twice. And that's how it works. Anyway, early reports implied that the Cybertruck had somehow caught fire and exploded, but this was not true, which Elon Musk said. We have now confirmed that the explosion was caused by a very large firework and or bomb carried in the bed of the rented Cybertruck and is unrelated to the vehicle itself. All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion. So that he's making sure that wasn't an issue like that. On Wednesday evening, Musk, clearly convinced that the explosion was a terrorist attack, noted that the Cybertruck likely hampered the terrorist intentions because despite being parked in front of the lobby, not even the glass doors were broken from the blast glass in the doors, as much as the explosion was contained by the vehicle. Okay, so maybe that's why it didn't cause as big a problem. Hello, Zancy Pill-O-C, welcome. They got his name now. Oh, the Cybertruck guy? Yes, we did see that. We mentioned that earlier. And also, again, so this guy in Las Vegas and the guy in New Orleans both had connections to Fort Bragg. That's crazy. All right, moving on in American Thinker today. More on the Cybertruck bomb. Let's see if they have any new information that we haven't already talked about. Cybertruck, in the wake of New Orleans terrorist attack, a Tesla Cybertruck reportedly full of mortar style. Okay, no, this is all the same information. Just different people showing it. Here's apparently there's a video here. Oh, yeah. And oh, yeah, it looks like it's filled with fireworks. Okay. That just makes me wonder, too. Well, let's see. The cops aren't saying that, but they have told the press they are investigating it as a potential crime. This tweet shows the different dynamics between the run-of-the-mill electric car battery fire and the explosion seen in front of the tower. So we already know. We saw all the little fireworks blowing up around it. So I wonder, was this just some asshole who came to... bought a bunch of fireworks and had them in his truck and maybe didn't have them stored very well and the whole thing blew up on him? Like, could it be just a mistake? This guy rented a Tesla, got a bunch of fireworks, was going to go shoot them off in the desert in Las Vegas and just fucked up. I don't know. Let's see. It was video from inside Trump Tower, had audible fireworks whistling. I wonder. That's what I'm wondering. If it was intentional or if they were just stupid. That's a good question. Anyway, moving on, and let's go to the next one here. This is a Breitbart. Let's get into a different subject here. So I have several other articles that have nothing to do with terrorism. Terrorism, as Charles Barkley would say. Terrorism, because it's terrible, and you have terrorism. Hello, Midnight in Exile, by the way. No, the truck wasn't his. It was a rental. The whole thing is an op to distract from Trump and Elon's H-1B PR hit. That could be too. I don't know. Except it was rented using the same method as the Ford Lightning truck was rented in New Orleans. And isn't it interesting? Both of these attacks were done with electric vehicles. Isn't that fascinating? Another reason not to buy an electric vehicle. I'm just kidding. I have no interest in an electric vehicle. I live in a cold weather state. I'm not buying no damn thing where the battery gets deteriorated. All right, in Breitbart, moving on, Mexico's preparation for Trump's mass deportations moving to high gear. What is Mexico doing to prepare? Well, their plans for mass deportation of migrants from the United States moving to high gear as local and state officials prepare shelters and supplies. Really? Are we going to be sending them back to Mexico? I mean, these people are coming from so many different places. I thought they were going to just fly them back to their home countries. I mean, 140 countries are represented, although a lot of the bad Mama Jabba peoples, like the gangs, are from El Salvador and Venezuela. Anyway, As Inauguration Day in the United States nears, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum ramped up preparations to receive the influx of migrants. Expulsions expected to increase under President-elect Donald Trump's mass deportation plans. In recent days, Mexico announced the launch of a new smartphone panic button for Mexican migrants facing imminent detention by U.S. authorities. Wait a minute. And plans to open a new migrant shelters in Mexican border cities? I thought that the vast majority of these migrants during the Biden administration weren't from Mexico. And wait a minute, you're going to launch a new smartphone panic button for your Mexican migrants? My guess is the Mexican migrants aren't going to make a large percentage of those who are deported initially. A lot of the Mexican illegal migrants seem to be migrant farm workers. Or farm workers. Eric Baker, hello, welcome to the show. Incredible. A streamer pretending to be an informed commentator while reading from a fucking Breitbart article. Absolutely embarrassing. No, it's not embarrassing. I read from all different kinds of sources. This just happens to be a Breitbart source, which their news reporting is fairly decent, okay? So I'm not reading the opinion shit. I'm just reading articles of things that are happening. So get over yourself. And if you have something you disagree with, I'm happy to hear it in the chat. So there you go. All these articles that I read are new to me. So I read from all kinds of stuff. Thanks. But I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you don't, well, that's okay too. I don't care. I'm just having fun. This is what I do for fun. So anyway, as reported by Breitbart Texas, President Sheinbaum held a security meeting with Mexican border state governors earlier in December to prepare for the migrants sent back to Mexico once Trump's mass deportation again. There's a lot of, look, again, as they've said, their strategy, at least Tom Homan has said, is their strategy is go for the criminal aliens first, right? The ones who've already either gone through their deportation hearings and just haven't left, which is about 1.5 million of those, and actually ones who have committed crimes or are known criminals from their own home countries, which is going to be a trick sending them back anyway because a lot of the home countries don't want them back. And I doubt they're going to send someone from, say, a Venezuelan gang member. They're not going to send them back to Mexico because I'm pretty sure Mexico doesn't want them either. So they got to figure what the hell out they're going to do with them, or are they just going to put them in prison or something? So, again, Eric, come on. Well, if you find something you disagree with, feel free to disagree in the chat. I might address that too. So there you go. So anyway, I'm saying that my guess is that the vast majority of the people that in the initial wave that they try to deport probably aren't from Mexico. That's my guess. All right. Yes, I know Breitbart has right-wing bias. No shit. Just like CNN has left because I just read an MSNBC. I just showed an MSNBC video a minute ago. I read MSNBC articles all the time. I do. Oh my God. You just stick around. You'll see that there is different stuff here. Although today mostly are right-wing sources, but you get them from all. I get them from the BBC, CNN, MSNBC, whoever has articles that we're talking about that day. So just you know what? Hang around. If you don't like it, that's cool too. It's all good. Are you Kyle Kulinski in disguise? That's funny. Anyway, this is a straight news article from Breitbart, so maybe you'll be okay with some of the facts. Maybe you won't. Tell me what you disagree with instead of just bitching and moaning. So now, let's see. As reported in Breitbart, Texas, President Sheinbaum held a security meeting with Mexican border state governors earlier in December to prepare for the migrants sent back to Mexico once Trump's mass deportation begins. Just before Christmas, the planning ramped up to include setting up at least 25 shelters to house migrants sent back to Mexico. Or maybe the migrants would just go to their own homes in Mexico. I don't know. We'll see what happens. According to the announcement in Tijuana just before Christmas, Baja California Governor Marina del Pilar Vida Almeida told reporters 6 shelters will likely open in the border city from across from San Diego, California. At least 2 others will open in Mexicali, which borders Calexico, California. Avila told reporters the shelters will be used to house Mexican citizens returned under deportation operation until they can be sent to their hometowns further inside Mexico. So I get, okay, so it's kind of they're setting up kind of staging stations to send people home. Look, again, I'm going to guess that the vast majority of the people who are on that initial wave of deportations probably aren't from Mexico. Again, if you look at the numbers from Homeland Security, and they've talked about the different countries people they have processed have come from, I doubt it's the Mexicans that we're worried about. Just saying. That's my guess. So there you go. All right, moving on. What else we got here? PJ Media. What was this one? Tom Homan puts, and speaking of Tom Homan puts every illegal migrant on notice. The incoming Trump administration is going to waste no time cleaning up Joe Biden's mess. This is obviously an opinion piece from Matt Margolis. Waste no time cleaning up Joe Biden's mess come January 20th, and Trump's border czar putting legal migrants on notice. Homan, the former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, a.k.a. ICE, and the incoming border czar made it clear in an interview with the Daily Caller that no illegal migrants in the United States will be off limits, while he emphasized prioritizing the worst first. Homan issued a firm reminder that every illegal migrant remains a target. His remarks come amid speculation that some border hawks about whether the Trump team might be softening its stance ahead of Inauguration Day. Like the first Trump administration, we're going to prioritize public safety threats, national security threats, and fugitives, Homan told the outlet. Those that had due process at great taxpayer expense were given orders of deportation and never left and became a fugitive. Those are the priorities. So, and we've heard him say that several times. And, I'm sure that, I'm not sure, but I would assume that the vast majority of those are not Mexican, because the big migrant caravans that were coming through the border, they weren't coming from Mexico. They were coming through Mexico. And then we have the huge number of people from countries that do not have a land walk to get here. They had to fly in from somewhere else. There was large numbers of those too, like from India, from China, from various countries in the Middle East. There were people from all over the world. They said 140 countries. So we'll see what goes there. American Thinker. The big topic I'm almost done here. Shoot. Well, maybe I don't have time for that. Let me skip that one. Let me tell you just what's in the articles that I didn't get to. These are all right-wing sources. They're, what's the guy's name? What's your name? Eric? Eric, are you still here? Just curious. Just curious if you're still here. Or did you fly away? I wanna get away. I wanna fly away. So let me just tell you what's else in the other articles. I didn't get to a whole lot today. You can walk to Africa, from Africa to the Americas, just pace on a plane or a ship. Yeah, I got you. New law. All migrants will be enslaved to build the space wall. The what wall? The wall. No, don't start saying that shit. You'll be called all kinds of things if you say that shit. So anyway, other articles, an article about H-1B, cautionary tale of Canada, because Canada seems, at least some Canadians, are concerned about the waves of people that have been brought into Canada to do tech jobs, and how Canada's not becoming Canada anymore. I don't know. They're worried about the Indians. I don't know. Moving there. In the Daily Caller, 6 times Jonathan Turley and Alan Dershowitz were right about Trump's legal fights. Dershowitz predicted the outcome of the Colorado ballot case. So did I, because I read, in fact, I was probably more accurate than even Dershowitz, because I said there's a jurisdiction issue. Colorado cannot adjudicate federal law in that way. Turley said the appeals court trying to force Trump to give up a constitutional right after Smith's secured indictment against Trump in the alleged election interference case. Trump claimed immunity from prosecution after a 3-judge panel on the United States Court of Appeals and the D.C. Circuit rejected Trump's claim on immunity, though Turley noted the panel's ruling tried to close off one avenue usually available to parties in the case. Okay, that's whatever. March 15, 2024, Dershowitz says the Atlanta trial judge failed to address Fani Willis's conflict of interest. That was prophetic. April 24, 2024, Turley predicts the Supreme Court could complicate Smith's case. Yes, with the partial immunity ruling. Again, they didn't say Donald Trump was immune from everything, but certainly gave a 3-tier answer on that. Absolutely official acts. Certainly have a assumption of immunity for presidents of the United States. Then there was kind of a hybrid official acts, or could be adjacent to official acts that had some limited immunity, and then certainly personal acts would not have immunity. But everyone said, oh, they gave him immunity. No. And even Donald Trump mistakenly said that. But certainly the testimony of certain White House officials, in particular the New York case, which they seem to be ignoring that ruling, should be coming under scrutiny in the appeals process. So there you go. Also, Turley expresses alarm at the potential jury instructions in the Manhattan case for Alvin Bragg, the business falsifying business documents case, which is coming back to bite them during the appeals process. Dershowitz predict that Juan Merchan will seek to avoid tossing the Trump conviction. He was right about that. He's furiously trying to avoid that, but that one's probably not going to survive the appeal process either. So interesting. Legal insurrection article in the links today. Trump shares video of Democrats and media figures insisting that Joe Biden is sharper than ever. This is a great video. Let's just watch this one, because this was the montage of everyone telling us that Joe Biden was super duper sharp.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with him.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it.
Oh, because he's so sharp,
intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
I can testify because I've been working very closely with this president for the past 2 years. I've been knowing him for 30 years. And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart. He's on his game.
Joe Biden has vision. He has knowledge. He has a strategic thinker.
The president is focused. He's detail-oriented. He's always thinking about the big picture.
He is engaging. He is capable. He has an incredible record as president.
And I'm often with him on foreign trips. He's at the top of his game.
So he has a vision. He has knowledge. He has judgment. He has a strategic thinking.
I met with the president, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
Look out. Now, I want to, hold up. I got to go back to that one. I got to go back to Bernie Sanders saying that. Do you see any conviction in his face whatsoever as he's saying this? Look at this. Look at him. He's just like,
met with the president, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he seemed fine to me.
This is what they told me to say. It was what he looks like. That's what he looks like. He looks like this is what they told me to say. Let's see Merrick Garland.
I have complete confidence in the president. I have watched him expertly guide meetings of staff and cabinet members. I could not have
expertly,
more
he says.
In the president.
I would just tell you that
Why are you looking down, Millie? Why are you looking down? You're trying. His tells are so bad when he's lying.
Frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
But he is again knowledgeable, wise,
incredibly sharp, incredibly probing, incredible command of the details.
He is sharp. He is on top of things.
There is nothing to these challenges, these suggestions
Not
that
at
somehow
all.
he's not sharp
Not
and
at
he's
all,
not
Murph.
capable.
We see Joe Biden up close. We know how.
I can't watch this. I can't do it. I can't do it. We all knew. We all knew from the very beginning. We knew from when you know the thing. You know that. You know the thing.
You know the thing.
Joe hasn't been sharp for a long time. Sharp as a marble. Also an legal insurrection. Apparently, Washington Post columnist Jennifer Rubin insults Trump voters again because, you know, and then attacks her own paper for trying to reach them. Is there a video of this? Here it is.
Why would ABC, Disney, the mouse, who has more money than God, settle with Donald Trump?
Because there is multiple recordings of George Stephanopoulos saying the opposite of what he said in that news video, and also several warnings to George Stephanopoulos from ABC News not to say what he said in that interview with Nancy Mace. So them being very well versed on what the actual trial court opinion, the verdict said, and saying something different from that is an intentional act of saying a lie. That's why they settled with him. That's why they settled with Donald Trump, because they very well knew the facts. Okay. And so anyway, there's a whole Jennifer Rubin mishmash of things in here. Daily Wire, Biden administration paid consultants millions to help military implement race-based hiring. So again, DEI. But again, if you take, I don't know, don't assume. It's just silly to assume. In Pennsylvania, what's this? In American Thinker, Pennsylvania Amish build dozens of homes for hurricane victims in just 2 days, outpacing Newsom's promise from almost 2 years ago. So I'm going to finish with this one. This is an interesting story. So a stark difference between public and private sectors. In March of 2023, Gavin Newsom promised to deliver 1,200 tiny homes at the cost of $625,000 per taxpayer apiece. To date, not a single tiny home has been delivered. By comparison, the Amish just built 12 tiny homes in less than 48 hours at the cost of $25,000 apiece. So, as the tweet author Kevin Dalton writes, Gavin Newsom announced a tiny home project in March of 2023, which was to be completed in a matter of months and not years. But as you also read, not a single home has actually been built. In May of this year, which was over a year past the initial announcement, we received an update. Quote, it's a plan change on Newsom's tiny house promise. In March 2023, Governor Gavin Newsom told a crowd assembled at Cal Expo in Sacramento that the state would help local governments address the homelessness crisis. He announced that California National Guard would deliver 1,200 tiny homes to 4 jurisdictions. Sacramento would receive 350, Los Angeles 500, San Jose 200, San Diego County would get 150. Then, crickets. In October, the city announced it had identified a site for half of the tiny homes in Sacramento, an empty lot next to a never-occupied strip mall on Stockton Boulevard in South Sacramento. So, continuing, construction crews broke ground on the Sacramento location in March of 2024, and the homes were then projected to be completed in the fall of 2024. But today is the first day of 2025. Like Dalton said, not a single home has been delivered. Where did all that money go? Again, they were paying $625,000 per tiny home. Well, back into the bureaucratic and political ether, we believe was where the money went. Now, compare that to the image on the right-hand side of the tweet, which features a story about a bunch of Pennsylvania Amish who built a dozen tiny homes for those who lost everything during Hurricane Helene in a span of 2 days and for a fraction of the cost that Newsom budgeted. So here it is from a report out of Boone, North Carolina. Luke Henry has done construction for many years. In college, he had a classmate start their own construction company. Years later, it's still his passion. He is helping to build 12 tiny houses located in the parking lot of Cornerstone Summit Church. Henry says when he saw the homes being built, he had come by and to find out who was doing it. I was talking to Aaron, the name of the Amish gentleman leading his crew, and Aaron explained to me that they're here building temporary housing units for people displaced by Helene, the hurricane, obviously. However, they had to leave at the end of the day, Henry said. He says there were about 50 men building 12 homes in 2 days, and they got them about 90% done. They erected everything from the outside in, framed out the walls, framed out the roof, ran the electric, Henry said. He said it all started with a man who came to the area from Pennsylvania and saw the damage. The man went to his local Amish community and asked for help, and he then raised the money to both get them here and build the sheds. Found a local shed company to modify the plans to make them habitable with insulation, outlets, light fixtures, etc. Now, for context, Newsom's project of 1,200 homes at $625,000 apiece amounts to a whopping $750 million. But the Amish built their tiny homes for $25,000 each. That meant, well, obviously there's no labor involved because they volunteered their labor, but whatever. That means for every one home that Newsom builds, assuming he actually gets them constructed at or below budget, quite a naive assumption, the Amish could build 25 homes for the same cost, or for $750 million, the Amish could build 30,000 tiny homes. The government of California is definitely a sick joke. So there you go. That's the story. I'm sticking to it, and I got to go. So, hey, there's a couple other articles I'm not putting the links there. I am putting in the links today, but I don't even know which ones I left out. But you'll see them when if you ever go into my links, you'll see them when you get there. All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody. I got to go. Let me drop these in the chat. Just a second here. Copy. And today's links. And there we go. There's today's links. I'll drop them in the description of the video, too. I have to go. I'll be back tomorrow. Happy New Year again. Friday free-for-all. We'll do Friday Q&A. And it will be a fun time for all. But that's it. I got to go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.